Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. I'm your host, Hannah Hislop, here with Natalie Bragg, who is the Director of Liberty Park Community Development Center. Natalie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. This rainy weather.
I know.
It's a
Kinda
lot.
nice.
Kind of nice. Sometimes.
It's a good break
It
from
is
the
a good.
heat.
It is a good break. You're
Yeah.
right. Well, we will talk to Natalie here in a little bit, right after a commercial break. But I'm very excited to talk to you. Stick with us.
We believe every person is created in the image of God with immeasurable beauty and worth, that people should not be defined by their present condition or past mistakes. We are all broken. We need each other. Healing for our brokenness begins with connection, with understanding how much we are loved by a good God. And with healing comes change, the potential for joy and meaning. No one was created for mere survival on the streets, for an existence blurred by mind-numbing substances. Each person is created with a purpose, a unique gift no one else can offer the world. Our job is to help them rediscover it. Real people, real change. Union Gospel Mission.
Welcome back to the Pulse of Spokane. I'm here with Natalie. So Natalie, I'm just going to jump right into it. What is Liberty Park?
That's a great question. So it's called Liberty Park Community Development Center, and we are a nonprofit organization that is located in, we're actually located in the midst of a low-income apartment complex in the East Central neighborhood of Spokane. It's changed a lot throughout the years. It used to be kind of just a daycare. It's evolving really into this amazing community center. So right now, all of our programs are focused on basically the family as a whole. So we offer programs for kids age preschool all the way up to adults.
Wow, that's so great. So what is your role as director of Liberty Park?
Yeah, so I am the nonprofit side director or center director. There's been a couple different names that came with the job, but essentially I get the opportunity to create programs, run programs. Oftentimes I'm hands-on with the programs. I'll take over as teacher if I need to, or allow other people to step in and fill those positions. So it's kind of cool. It's been a mixed match of different opportunities as director. But essentially, I just oversee the operations of the nonprofit, make sure that we're financially stable, and that all of our programs are serving our families the best way possible.
Wow, that's so great. So what does a normal day at Liberty Park look like for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So different every day. It's cool because we work really individually with families. There are 48 units in the low-income apartment complex, and the families that we serve live on site. We also serve and welcome anyone from outside the neighborhood, and we have a lot of families outside the neighborhood who utilize our resources, but on a daily basis, we're running programs for preschoolers throughout the day, and then we've got programs for school-age kids, kindergarten through 6th grade. I work individually with families, so adults can schedule appointments with me to come in, talk about basically anything they want to talk about. If they want to go back to school, we'll help them get back to school. If they want to build a resume, if they just need to vent to someone, I can make myself available to do that, which has been a really fun part of the job, is just letting each day carry you wherever it may. So we do have programs that run every day, but otherwise just kind of letting families come in and access the resources that they need.
Wow, you have lots of hats at this place.
I do.
So COVID-19 is obviously affecting your guys' nonprofit because you have kids, they're in school, they come to you after school. Can you tell me what that's been like for you guys?
Yeah, so in the beginning, kind of difficult, just tried to take a step back and figure out what we could do. We had this amazing opportunity to run just a wonderful food bank out of our building, which is something new we've never done before. So we got to turn our entire offices into this whole food bank where we just had tons of aisles of food set up, and we got to box stuff for families and send that out. So that was kind of the first half of the COVID year. And now that kids are back in school, we've been able to create program So they're doing real-time online school, as you know, most colleges are as well. And so what we've done is we've created a space where they can leave their homes, they can come into our space fully masked up, and we've got lots of protection there, but they can have their computers there and do their online school with some support. Families obviously were at home a lot with kids, and that's really difficult when you can't take your kids out to the playground, things like that. So we wanted to provide a space for kids to come, take a break from home, their families get a little bit of a break, and then we just support them throughout school. Yeah. And then individual meetings with families are pretty much the same, which has been really nice. As long as we're all masked up, I still get to interact with families the same way.
Wow, that's so great.
Yeah.
I love seeing how people have adapted to the COVID ways of life now.
Yeah.
So how do the kids like the online school?
That's a great question. Who knows, honestly. I think that it's really back and forth. I think they were really intrigued by it in the beginning. And as time has gone on, it's difficult navigating. They've got a ton of programs they navigate. I'm shocked these kids are teaching me how to do things I've never done on a computer before. I think that they're getting a little bit tired of it, but schools are starting to try to open up again, which is perfectly timed. Mm-hmm. They're doing really well for how they could be doing right now,
yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how close do you work with their teachers then? Because if they come to you for their online classes, how much are you involved with the teachers as well?
One of the best things about COVID is that we've been able to build this amazingly close relationship with the school. We've always had a really good relationship with Grant Elementary, but through COVID, we've just built this bond that's really, really strong. So we work with the teachers, we work with the counselors and the principals really closely. I'm in communication with the counselor almost daily on students that need more support, students that aren't accessing online classes at home. We switch out our roster. If one child is excelling and we don't think that they really need that extra support, we'll make that slot available for someone else who's not accessing their classes at home. So connecting with the teachers has been really important. Talking with them about where the students are excelling and aren't has been a really awesome thing.
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah.
Especially for those kids that may need the support that you guys are giving them.
Definitely.
Which kind of segs me into what kind of backgrounds do you see?
Yeah, great question. Just in general, so we work with low-income and refugee families. So we've got a lot of different, lives that are walking into our building, which is obviously very beautiful and exciting to get to be a part of their lives now. We've got families from all over the world. Most of our refugee families right now are actually from Africa, so that's kind of exciting. And then we've got families that have come from homelessness, families that have come from pretty much any area of life and have landed in this low-income housing, which gives them a perfect opportunity to start, working towards kind of a better life for themselves.
Yeah, that is so great. And you guys really care for the whole person, the whole family.
Yeah.
And I've seen that, which is amazing. But so how would people get involved if they wanted to with you guys and volunteer?
Yeah. Good question during COVID. We are currently not accepting volunteers just because of COVID, but we have had, up to 80 volunteers per quarter in our center before, which is amazing. So people who are interested in helping out or even just want to come by and see what we do, we've got, a website, which is libertyparkcenter.org, that they can access, and they can contact us there. And those that want to volunteer, when we are accepting volunteers, get to work with our school-age kids the most. When COVID is moving on, we will get to start our English program again, which is English for adults. So that's where we really need volunteers. And just getting adults in there practicing English is really important, and anyone can do that. So that's a big opportunity for volunteers too.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What other programs do you run out of Liberty Park?
Yeah, during non-COVID, we have kind of this community dinner program that was brand new. We started it. The first one was actually like a week before COVID hit. So we're excited to get back to that as soon as we can, but basically just inviting the entire neighborhood in to celebrate and have a meal together and just get to know each other. It can be kind of lonely living in those apartments, or it can be a really great community. So you kind of just have to work towards what you want. Yeah. And we want to create that space where people can have community. We run teen programs, so we've had youth groups or just teen center, where we just have kind of individual time with teens. We'll have a small group of teens and a mentor, and just get to talk through life with teens. Then we do our adult education courses. So there's English, we've had parenting classes there, finance classes, how to save money during the winter classes. I mean, a lot of different classes meant for adults. And they vary throughout the year.
That is so great.
Yeah.
So is there any sort of funding or donations that people can make to Liberty Park?
Yes, so we are a privately funded organization, meaning that all of our funds come from the community. So we are funded by churches and individuals, which is an amazing opportunity. It gives us an opportunity to expand our horizons if we want to, and we get to really keep the community involved. So all of that information is available on our website, but it is really important to support this program, just because we are reaching out to one of the lowest income neighborhoods in Spokane, and people can have such a big part of that. Yeah.
Well, like we talked about, you wear a lot of different hats at Liberty Park.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with Liberty Park in the very beginning?
Yeah, kind of a funny story. So I went to Moody Bible Institute, which is no longer in Spokane, but when it was, one of our assignments our freshman year was to volunteer for a certain number of hours. And because I was a freshman and I procrastinated a lot, I didn't come up with anything. So I hope no one I know ever watches this. The night that it was due, I just wrote down Liberty Park. I had heard it somewhere at I heard this guy talking about it. So I just wrote it down, didn't even know what it was, and then I was committed. So I went in for orientation, and it was a difficult orientation. The neighborhood at the time, it's been freshly redone, so it's really nice. But at the time, it was really run down. You could really tell that there was drug activity, gang activity. It was a tough part of town. And I had just come from a different lifestyle. And so I walked in and I was definitely nervous as a freshman and didn't really want to go. And it was winter, and I don't like winter, so that didn't help. And after orientation, I left and I called my brother and I was crying and I just said, "Hey, I hate this. I'm not doing it." And he just laughed at me and he said, "You're dumb." And he told me to go back and focus on one kid. I had volunteered to work with the after-school kids. He told me to go back and focus on one kid and just try to build a relationship. And I did, and I went back and I just started falling in love with each kid that was there, and just built such a relationship with these kids that I adored. And then the next summer I became the lead teacher in the after-school program, and then from there I just tried to work my way up, and about 3 years ago became the director there.
Wow, that is so great. It's such a fun story to go from college all the way now to see your passion live through your life.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you a little bit, with these kids, what is your how do you get them to do their school? How do you get them to listen? How do you get them to do what you want?
Yeah. You can't get kids to do anything that they don't want to do. But one of the things that we do is we really focus on building strong relationships with these kids. So they're not coming in to see us as this removed adult or removed authority figure. We've built really strong relationships with each kid individually. I've been there over 7 years, so I know these families really well, and I know how kids tick, and I know I can tell when a kid is starting to shut down. And so really just coming in as a support for them, really making sure they understand they have a safe space here with us. That doesn't mean we get to do whatever we want. It means that we still follow and respect the rules, but there's an opportunity to be ourselves within those rules. So even if, a kid is now with the online schooling, they're in their little chat room instead of focusing on school. We have a teacher come up and support them and encourage them and say, "Hey, this is a really funny conversation you're having. Let's have it after. And I'll even help you make up some jokes after." And just ways to encourage the kids and not necessarily be these overarching authorities, but almost bring ourselves down to their level a little bit more and really build those relationships so that they do want to listen and they do want to engage.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the numbers increase over the years since you've been there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We've seen, ups and downs for sure, but we really kind of shifted from just being this almost daycare model after school program to a really intense, we want to be with you. We want you to be here. This is your space model, kind of community center model. And kids picked up on it so quickly, and they loved it, and they want to be there. They love that safe space. They can go and forget their worries, or they can come and talk about their worries, and they've got that opportunity to just be themselves. And kids know when they're allowed to be themselves in a space, and they like to be in those spaces, so they definitely come.
Oh my gosh, well, this is so great. Thank you so much for talking to us, Natalie. You can catch this Pulse of Spokane up soon, and there's lots of great information about how you can volunteer and just get to know the kids on a deeper level. So thanks for tuning in.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and a description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.
When building a home or considering a major remodel, who are you going to choose? The Spokane Home Builders Association is an organization that works to elevate professionalism in the residential construction industry. We promote, protect, and educate for our community, building our community one home at a time. We are the Spokane Home Builders Association.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.